Good evening, everyone. Our Heavenly Father, we honor you, we praise you, we give you all honor and all glory. And Lord, we're thankful for this Board of County Commissioners of Nassau County, Florida. And as they proceed through this agenda, we ask that you just lead and guide them in their discussion, in their decision-making, and whatever's decided, discussed, that is good for the citizens of Nassau County. We're so thankful for their support staff, county attorney office, county manager's office, and all the support staff throughout just the departments of Nassau County. And we also want to give thanks for first responders, the police, fire, rescue, and just thankful for them, just keep them safe through dangers they see and dangers they don't see. Continue to bless our military as they keep us safe in whatever's going on. Continue to bless the citizens of Nassau County. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have public comment for non-agenda items. Comments can only be for items under the authority of the Board of County Commissioners. Time limit is 3 minutes. I haven't had anyone fill out a comment card, so seeing none, we'll move on to public comment for agenda items. Except for quasi-judicial items, any member of the public can address any item on the agenda now or wait until the matter is addressed. Time limit, again, is 3 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to address an agenda item now? Seeing none, move into expansion items or deletions to the agenda. County Manager,
I have none today, sir. Thank you.
County Attorney,
I have none, Mr. Chair.
all right. Resolutions. Do we have anyone here that's going to accept the resolution under tab A? County Manager, County Attorney, anybody know that?
I do not believe so.
I do not believe so.
Okay, but we should read the resolution into the record.
Yes, sir.
So, tab A, approve a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners dedicating the Nassau County portion of State Road A1A as Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway. So I'll entertain a motion.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, seconded by Commissioner Huffman. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And Commissioner Huffman, I have not been handed the resolution. Do you have the resolution?
I do have the resolution.
Commissioner Huffman, since you're the musical professional up here, would you like to read that resolution?
I'd be honored to, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Thank you. Resolution number 2024-001, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Nassau County, Florida, endorsing the dedication of the portion of the State Road A1A in Nassau County as Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway. Whereas Jimmy Buffett was an American singer-songwriter, excuse me, known for his lifestyle described as island escapism. And whereas Jimmy Buffett entertained audiences for over 5 decades, releasing his first record in 1970. Whereas over the course of his career, Jimmy Buffett created 27 studio albums, multiple New York Times best-selling books, a Broadway play, and a business empire. And whereas from his musical career, Mr. Jimmy Buffett received 2 Grammy nominations and 2 Country Music Association awards. Whereas after a long career and accumulations of millions of adoring fans, Jimmy Buffett passed away peacefully in the comfort of friends and family on September 1st, 2023. And whereas Florida House of Representatives Bill 91 will be presented to designate all portions of State Road A1A in Florida as Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway. Whereas, with the support of Nassau County Board of County Commissioners, House Bill 91 will be presented to the Florida House of Representatives for approval. And whereas, with House Bill 91 becoming law, the Florida Department of Transportation will erect suitable markers designating portion of State Road A1A in Nassau County as Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Nassau County, Florida, on this 8th day of January 2024, the board endorses the dedication of the portion of State Road A1A within Nassau County as Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway. This resolution is signed by the chairman, John Martin, attested to by John Crawford, clerk of the court, and County Attorney Denise May.
Thank you, Commissioner Officer. Okay, next we have presentations. Time limit is 15 minutes under tab B. Sherry Mitchell, Nassau County Economic Development Board, annual report. Welcome.
Thank you. And good evening. Happy New Year to everybody. I trust that you all have a copy of the presentation. I'll go ahead and start with our mission and vision absolutely remains the same. But on this presentation, we wanted to kind of do it a little bit differently. I kind of wanted to combine the deliverables for the NCEDB agreement with BOCC, which I thank you immensely for, and so does my board, the ones that are here to support us. So moving forward with that, through our strategic plan, we had 4 major pillars. The 4 major pillars that we continue to work out of are going to be BRE, our business retention and expansion, business recruitment and marketing, public relations and communications, and the sustainable revenue source, SRS. The pillar that you will see the most activity, that we've really been very active, is going to be the business retention expansion. We do have a focus really on the retention piece. Yes, we're talking to multiple businesses that are looking to relocate to Nassau County, but we will never lose sight of how important it is to retain the businesses that have been here for so many years. So through one of the deliverables, we put together a marketing outreach plan. And so when we established this program, we wanted to ensure that we're doing our due diligence for the skilled workforce. We can easily build on the school board's grade A school system. And with an emphasis on CTE, or career technical education, because one of the first things, of course, that we're always asked when we're talking to these businesses are, do you have a skilled workforce? You know, so with our school board ending their last year with 1,047 industry certifications, I think that's something that we can build on. That's something that I like to wrap into any kind of presentation when I'm talking to any of these businesses that are looking to relocate. One of the good positive things out of this, you're very familiar with Crawford Diamond, and the Wildlife Commerce Park. Those have been the 2 most active sites, shovel-ready sites, ready to have a business relocate into the county. Partnering with our school board and some of the property that they have down at the in and around the fairgrounds has been beneficial. So we've been able to work with, we have 2 active projects that are looking at property down there. And with these 2 projects, the part that's most exciting to me is we're going to be able to implement the CTE program with that. So being able to utilize and help them with their future workforce, to sustain a workforce, and at the same time be able to share that with the kids that are coming out of our schools. So that's exciting. One of the other marketing outreach that we are going to be that we have been doing actually have been some of the website updates, the interactive maps. So the interactive maps have proven to be very successful for our site selectors. They're able to utilize this for various utilities, be able to find out where the utilities are on each piece of property that they're pulling up. We're getting a lot of great reports when we pull that on how many visitors that we've actually been seeing come to the website. The multifaceted funding is something that we've also put together, and that is also another deliverable through our agreement. And so the economic development activities, we fall under each 4 of the pillars. So being able to sustain a BRE program is something that we are proud of and something that we are still working on. One of the things that we do are going to be the business roundtables. The events that we did were, last year we did a business, actually an economic luncheon, which was wonderful. So we had Stephanie Stuckey. This year, we're going to have Laura DeBella visit us for an economic forecast, and then followed up by another update. We're going to be doing a quarterly update, and then still having our two roundtable discussions. So through those programs, we've been able to survey a lot of our business community, and we're getting a lot of good feedback on their, some of their workforce issues that they're having, any of them that needs help navigating through permitting processes or any kind of hiccups that they may be having along the way, has been very beneficial. And actually having somebody from the county, Holly, on our board has been very beneficial and very, very helpful to a lot of these businesses. And you guys feel free to stop me if you have any questions as I move forward. The BRM, the Business Recruitment and Marketing. So we've been able to revamp not only our website, but a lot of our marketing materials. So we've been able to put together different packets, and what we've done is we have broken that out to the different industries. So we've got one for advanced manufacturing, healthcare, we've got something on IT, logistics, and distribution. So depending on who I'm talking to, we typically will put a packet together, and it's got the county overview and all the highlights of Nassau County and the area that they're looking at, along with incentives. So we will typically team up with somebody from the state and see if these folks are eligible for statewide incentives. And if they do fall into that targeted industry, then 9 times out of 10, they do, that does come with a good incentive. The PRC, the Public Relations Communication. So that's when we're going out and we're getting in front of the businesses. Rotary, I've talked to a lot of the companies over on the west side of the county all the way from the island, and just giving them an update, letting them know what our role is in the community, giving them as much of a project update as I possibly can. As you well know, I have to sign NDAs with a lot of these businesses before I discuss any, real further details on who the company is. SRS, that's really maintaining my budget, being able to bring in more investors, newer investors. So we're really excited to be able to bring in HCA and Patillo, and we've got others that are Pike that are looking to join us. This is really an overview of the 4, and it gives you a little bit of a breakout again of what you see in each of those 4 pillars. Our budget breakdown. Okay, we have began and ended the year with pretty much in the same ball field, $334,568. That's going to be our budget. 51% of that is going to always be on salaries, so we're able to operate with 3 full-time employees, including myself. And so some of our expenses are going to be SBDC, the $25,000. That is a big part of the Jack's USA partnership that we have. And then the other is going to be a lot of our economic development activities and other operational expenses. Okay. These are some active projects. These active projects right here, by looking at them, they are looking at either the Crawford Diamond Industrial Site. We've got one that's looking over on the west side, a private property owner. The other ones are going to be Wildlife Commerce Park. And I don't believe we even have the one that we're working with with the school board. But these numbers are looking good, and I feel positive and confident on for 2024. The further that we get along with the infrastructure and the paved roads, and those are all wonderful things that these businesses are looking for. So the business retention, expansion, impact. So the partners on that program are Economic Development, Career Source, Small Business Development Center, TDC, Nassau County Chamber, and County Planning. We just really wanted to kind of have everybody being able to answer any kind of questions that our business community might have. We choose these different topics for the BRE luncheons from surveying the companies. So we've got a lot of great topics, or if we've got some latest trend coming on economically, then, that folks need to hear about, then we will also put something like that in. Career Sources offering training grants to any of the businesses. We want to make sure that our businesses are well aware of that. A Small Business Development Center, getting with Jody and the folks that she helps. That's just proven to be a wonderful, wonderful program. We've also included the SBDC's impact, and you could see how much time and effort that Jody puts towards the businesses here in Nassau County. Same thing with Career Source. So we've really wanted to start tracking Career Source and finding out, how many of our businesses are you guys helping? How many of our businesses are the recipient of these training dollars? Okay, as a quick overview for 2022, and 2023, there was a total of 17 projects. So we've broken that down to how many site visits. So site visits, me going out to the Diamond or meeting them over here at the Commerce Park. How many prospective meetings? 15. That's probably a couple more than that, but we'll go with that. And qualified, 16. How many of these businesses that we've talked to and met with are actually qualified and an actual good fit for Nassau County? Because surprisingly, you would be surprised, some of them just won't be a good fit for Nassau County, something that we typically wouldn't welcome here. Where are we getting these? Where are the sources coming from? EFI, which is now the Florida Commerce, 22%, we do get from them. Jack's USA, our regional partner, 33% comes from Jack's USA, and then direct, the 45%, that is a direct connection. They're either calling us themselves or it's coming through our website. We've also broken down the jobs by industry in Nassau County, tourism and hospitality, obviously being the big one at over 25%, trade and transportation and utilities, 23%, professional business services. If you think that the tourism and hospitality is a low number, you want to include the professional and business services because a lot of times those two are combined. Education and health services, 14%. Manufacturing, a little bit over 8%. I'd like to see that increase, and I think that we will in 2024. Same thing with construction and retail. Here are did I really do that in 3 minutes? Or do I have only 3 minutes to go? Okay. And so here are.
Trust me, the clerk will cut you off next time.
I know the buzzer. Here are some of our key stakeholders, and actually I've got folks to add to that, so when I do come back and visit, or if I get to see you guys at our event that we have coming up, we do, like I mentioned, we do have an economic forecast. She's going to give updates on what she's seeing on the state level and trickling it down on what does that mean for Nassau County? What are we going to be seeing? What are the industries that they're seeing? And then we will follow up actually a couple weeks later and have our first BRE, and we're holding that at the town of Callahan. So I wanted to do one in Yulee and one of Callahan, and so we're working with topics on that one as well. So do you have any questions?
Any commissioners have any questions?
I did.
After
Commissioner
Commissioner Huffman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the one slide, Sherry, it showed the average salary numbers. Was that just per industry for example, the technology branch, their average salary was? Then the next line looked like maybe marketing or one more slide back, right there. One more forward, right there.
Okay.
It said average wage. Is that just a projection within that field?
That's exactly right.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
That's exactly right. So
Thanks.
when we do have a RFI, and this is what the process is, so we'll get a request for information, and then there's a RFP, request for proposal. So we initially, like I've got one today on a significant company that actually FPL can't do this much power out of the Diamond. They can do it at the Commerce Park. So we're working the Commerce Park on this one. But so, yeah, that's going to always be specific to that business that is looking at the property.
Right, and then if it integrates into the county, it may get adjusted certainly for our
Exactly.
cost of living in our area averages, et cetera.
Right.
That would be after this.
And so those are some of the details that I have to send, that I usually send with them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gray.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, thank you very much, Sherry, for the presentation.
Yes, sir.
Of course, we had the presentation in a packet provided to us earlier. I reviewed it, and it's very well put together. Appreciate all the information. I do want to comment, thanking your staff for coming with you tonight. That means a lot. You know,
Isn't that
everybody
great?
yourself, your staff out there that, you know,
And my new
work-
chairman, too. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, y'all.
You know, that means a lot when they
Yeah.
come, you know? It shows that.
Thank
that
you,
they're
I
concerned.
agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you for saying that.
And just want to say I'm excited for the February the 1st
Good.
event at the Patillo. Patillo's a
Wonderful.
very large corporation in America. They have business parks in Charleston, Arizona, Stone Mountain, Georgia, all over the place. I mean, and it's wonderful to have that here. I'm sure that the Economic Development Board played a major part and role in helping us succeed getting that here in Nassau County along with Radiant. So I just want to make those couple comments there.
Thank you.
And one question I have, because I can't remember, because I was in some discussions, and I see county manager looking at me. But HCA, how many jobs are we expecting for that? I know that's going to be a huge economic impact for our community.
It really is, and it's not as many as because I think it's under 100, but still we'll take the 60 to 80 that we were given, and that's always going to grow. You know, I had Mr. Hammond out to FSCJ, and I just really wanted to showcase FSCJ, you know, all the renovations that they've done. You know, that's completely healthcare driven. So he was so impressed. He's like, wow. And he was already having conversations with Dr. Turner, the dean out there, on additional training that they're going to be looking for when they land out here. So my answer to you is it is under 100. But that,
we'll
yeah,
take it.
but we'll absolutely.
We'll take it. It's under 100. And, you know, about 2 years ago, the county manager and our economic resource coordinator, Ms. Holly Cole, we worked on this here project for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And it's really welcoming to see that we're going to get about 100 jobs.
Yeah.
And the property that HCA is going to be building on is massive. I mean, it's
Yeah.
future expansion coming.
Oh, yeah,
But I just want to
definitely.
know, I couldn't remember what the number was off the bat, you know, so 100, we'll take that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for all your efforts. Yes.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you for y'all's support.
Any other commissioners? Commissioner Farmer.
Yeah, Sherry, on the key stakeholders, I noticed that the other municipalities were there, Hilliard and Callahan. What would it take for us to reach out to Fernandina Beach and add them to that stakeholder list? And I mean, is that
My
something
attention's
that-
going to go to Commissioner Hutman. I'll talk to him afterwards.
Well, I mean, you know, and I just, you know, I noticed that, we've got a great working relationship, and I appreciate all these fine stakeholders being involved, but like I said, it's, our working relationship with the city is a whole lot better than it's ever been now, and there's been some turnover there, and I'd just like to make sure that, we reach out to them and let's bring them into that stakeholder.
Yes, sir.
you know,
And I have. I just want you to know that
Yeah.
I absolutely have. And so, something that I'm going to revisit for this year.
That's outstanding. Well, we appreciate it, and appreciate your staff being here, your board being here, and it means a lot to us as we move forward for the benefit of the citizens we serve. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Appreciate
Since
you.
the city's in my district, let me know if I can help you with that.
I will do that. I
Commissioner
appreciate
McCullough,
that.
do you have anything?
Thank you. I just share, I mean, I like being last today. This is nice because everyone said everything, but I think I know, and especially going back to career tech education, when you're thinking, 60, we said 60 jobs was less than what we thought, but when you're looking at filling in those gaps for the workforce,
Right.
sometimes starting smaller is better because I mean, whether we're talking Nassau County, you're looking at state of Florida projections with all 67 counties, and you're seeing marginal gaps in skilled workforce. So
Right.
I think if Nassau County can start smaller, we'll probably have a greater success than with a larger
Yeah.
number. We'll get them rolling, get people enticed and hooked, and then we're able to grow from there. So
Exactly.
I like to see sometimes a smaller number because it's comfortable in career tech education, knowing that we can hopefully fill those jobs confidently to the
Agree.
workers.
And those are not those are direct jobs. So
Yes.
I'm not going to include, I'm very grateful for the indirect jobs, absolutely, all day long. But the sustainable ones that we're going to
Yes,
have are much more equally important.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
I'm sure you'll be sticking around for tab D.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
All right, tab C, constitutional officer business. Will that be you, Mr. Ironman?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All right. So let me go ahead and read this so I can tee it up for you. How's that?
Perfect.
Tab C, 1, receive and file the annual financial reports submitted by the Nassau County constitutional officers. 2, consider approving $248,662.79 of the residual equity from the sheriff being placed in a capital reserve fund for the purpose of constructing a public safety training center as outlined in contract CM 2233. If approved, budget to be amended with the FY 23-24 cash forward public hearing held mid-year. Assistant County Manager Ironman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So as part of the annual financial process, the board approves a budget for the constitutional officers. And then as we close out the fiscal year, depending on the revenue received through the board, or in some cases, it's through a calculation by the state, such as the tax collector, what they receive off the tax bills. As they close out their financials, they essentially have to return all of those excess funds or unused portions back to the Board of County Commissioners. This action kind of closes out for the last fiscal year, shows you what funds are coming back. As I said, some of them are driven by different factors, why they can be higher or lower in certain instances. And I will note, like on the tax collector amount, we have discussed on that west side Civic Center Annex, that was a portion that the board committed towards that project along with sales tax dollars so that we can move towards future expansion in the town of Callahan. When we talk about the sheriff's component, we do have an agreement or an interlocal between the sheriff and the board. Essentially, as we have federal inmates, they receive reimbursement from the federal government on those. That's that approximately $240,000. The request is that those funds go back into the public safety training facility that's under construction and helps to continue to expand that and improve it, which aids not only in our sheriff's operations, but also in the fire department. All the other funds here then, as we said, will come forward as we kind of work towards that winter strategic planning session, our cash carry forward, and where those dollars are reinvested in the county at a future date. That'll be at the board's discretion. So that concludes my report, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Ironman? All right, I will entertain a motion for tab C.
Make a motion that we approve it.
Motion by Commissioner Farmer,
Second?
second by Commissioner Hupman. Is there any questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent items. If any board member wishes to move a consent item to new business, please do so now. Does any member of the public want to speak on a consent item? Seeing no members of the public, any commissioner would like to move a consent item to new business?
I'd like to make a motion for approval, if you would entertain it, Mr. Chairman.
I will.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent items, please, sir.
I second that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner McCullough. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That takes us into new business. Any member of the public may address any item under new business at this time. Time limit is 3 minutes each. Is there anyone who wishes to address any item under new business? I don't have any comment cards, and I don't see anyone from the public. Okay. Tab J, consider resolution accepting general warranty deed for fire EMS station.
Yes, Mr. Chair, and that is the county attorney's item. This comes from DSAP 1, in which they were required to convey a parcel to the county for a new fire EMS station out there. That was indeed donated to us in September of 2023. As is required, a deed once conveyed must be accepted by this board, and this resolution would accept that deed for the fire EMS station.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Gray.
Yes, sir, I'd like to make a motion to approve tab J, accepting the general warranty deed for the fire EMS station, which is actually Station 30, the new Station 30 in District 3. Eventually, in the next few years, we'll have a new station. Thank you.
I'll
Motion from
second that
Commissioner Gray.
motion.
I'm sorry. Motion from Commissioner Gray, seconded by Commissioner McCullough. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I forgot to say this after the consent agenda. Ms. Mitchell, you and your team, you're not going to hurt our feelings if you want to go home early, because I know you don't have anything else on the agenda, but you're welcome to stay.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, could I say a comment?
Yes.
While Sherry's still here, I was going to mention it earlier. I wanted to thank Sherry and the team for partnering with Holly and Brandy and the Nassau Prosperity Alliance, working on transportation issues, and just generally be engaged in a lot of the things that you all have directed us to do. I think Sherry would agree that we have a really good working relationship at the staff level with her team, and having the pieces that are together now is really starting to push the ball forward, and kind of following up on kind of the report, talking about HCA, kind of sparked my thought process is you all should be really excited, because all these little things that have been working and working and working, as that ball starts to roll, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think what you're going to see in the very short term with Baptist coming online, with the first phase of HCA, the campus that'll grow from that, water plant being done at Crawford, I think these next several years of presentations are going to have a very upward trend, and that takes a whole lot of work. And one of the things we talked about previously was there's a whole lot of work that goes in that no one sees for years to get to the point for the ball to be of such size that people start to take notice. And so give Sherry a lot of credit for being a team player and participating in the initiatives that you've directed my staff to do.
Thank you, County Manager. All right, we'll move into tab K. Approve and authorize the chairman to sign the contract number 3584 with Otis and Marie Mason for ship rehabilitation project, accepting qualifying bids and authorizing the county manager to execute any and all necessary contract addendums and/or documents upon review and approval by the county attorney. Entertain a motion?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve tab K after the thorough review I've conducted.
Motion from Commissioner Hupman,
Second.
second from Commissioner Farmer. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tab L, set joint meeting with the Board of County Commissioners and Nassau County School Board for January 23rd, 2024 at 6 PM to be held at the James S. Page Governmental Complex. Entertain a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion for Commissioner Hupman, second by Commissioner Farmer. Any questions or comments? Does that work for everybody? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tab M, set a public hearing for consideration of conditional use and variance appeal. Tyler West Plaza, CU 2023-017, filed by Miller Tyler West LLC owner, and I'm going to butcher this, Sottle and Ingram PLLC agent. Entertain a motion?
Perfectly correct. If you need any information, I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved to set a public hearing.
Motion by Commissioner Hupman,
Second.
second by Commissioner Farmer. Any questions or comment?
To
Madam
clarify
Clerk,
for
you're
the-
getting my attention.
For the
If I could.
record.
Yes, for the
It'll
record.
be scheduled for February the 12th
Thank you,
at
Madam
6
Clerk.
PM.
All right. If there are no questions or comments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Legislative public hearing. The following matters under consideration are legislative matters, and the non-quasi judicial procedures will be utilized for the following. County Attorney will read the procedures.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As stated, tab N is a legislative, non-quasi judicial hearing, and these procedures are in place to give everyone who wishes to speak for or against an item the opportunity to do so. Those wishing to speak in favor of or against the item being considered shall have 3 minutes to address the board. They should not engage in personal attacks on staff or board. Speakers must begin by stating their name and address for the record. Please do not be repetitive or restate information. Sharing or transferring of time is not allowed. The clerk will control that time, again, 3 minutes. Any speaker that has documents should give them to the deputy clerk to become part of the permanent record. Meeting is being recorded, so please no outbursts. The board will then close the public hearing and discuss the item under consideration and ask questions of speakers or staff. They will then deliberate and vote on the item before them. Thank you, Mr. Chair. You may open the public hearing.
Okay, so, and I think you already said this, but just for the record, tab N is to consider and approve an ordinance amending section 5-5, Amelia Island Beach Renourishment Municipal Service Taxing Unit, also referred to as the sand tax.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
All right. Entertain a motion to open the public hearing for tab N.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Huffman. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Public hearing is open. Staff presentation.
That will be from me. Mr. Chair, this was a part of your 2023 Winter Strategic Planning Session to ask the County Attorney's Office to go and research the law and clarify whether the MSTU funds or the sand tax funds could be used for dune walkovers. I did do that research. We did come back and say that we could clarify the ordinance just a little to ensure that the MSTU funds were always included, the availability of you to use them for construction of dune walkovers as a vital component of erosion control and protection of the beach within the MSTU. So the ordinance before you just makes that simple clarification. It also makes clear that the beach renourishment MSTU funds are subject to your fund availability policy, including our reserve of policies, so that we will retain and make sure that we have enough money within that MSTU for its purposes of beach renourishment and not be depleted by beach or dune walkovers. So that's what's before you, and I'm here for any questions.
Is there anyone to speak in favor or against? If so, please come to the podium. Your time limit is 3 minutes. Seeing none? Let's see. I entertain a motion to close the public hearing for tab N.
So moved. Second?
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Huffman. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Public hearing is closed. And now we will get into board discussion. Any commissioners have any questions or comments of county attorney, county manager?
I'd like to make a motion.
I'd like to make well,
Go ahead.
no, I'll do that afterwards. Motion by Commissioner Farmer,
Yep.
Second.
second by Commissioner Huffman.
Based on the review of the applicable testimony and evidence provided, my motion is to approve the ordinance amending Section 5-5 Amelia Island Beach Renourishment Municipal Service Taxing Units.
Second, Mr. Chairman, for clarity. Thank you.
Any questions or comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I just wanted to comment, I guess I didn't want to comment before. I think I knew, or I had a good feeling where this was going to go, but I didn't want to say anything before we did this. Kudos to the county attorney and her staff for making this happen. And this is how things get done, all right? Sometimes it takes a little more time than the general public would like to make this happen. And I also want to give kudos to Fernandina Beach City Commissioner Darren Askew. He came to me with this idea and said, hey, which is legal, by the way. We're in two different boards, two different commissions. We're not governed by sunshine. And he did the right thing, and he came to me because the city is in my district. And he said, hey, I want to pitch this idea. And so he pitched the idea to me, and I said, I have to see if it passes the legal review, the way the ordinance is written as is. And it did not. So Ms. May told me we couldn't do it. And this is like to use some of this money to put walkovers there to help with beach renourishment and walkovers that are much needed, not just replace them, but to help repair too. So it gave a lot of leverage and leeway with what you could use the money for. And so the next question that I asked Ms. May was, okay, how do we change that? And then she went to work on changing the ordinance. We talked about it at our strategic planning session. She got confirmation to move forward with it, and now here we are, and some good things are going to happen because of this. So Ms. May found a way to say yes on this, and I appreciate the work that went into doing this, okay? So people think that these things are easy, you just got to wordsmith stuff. You got to do the legal research, and that is not easy, and you got to make sure you don't make mistakes. So I appreciate the work you did on that. And again, kudos to Commissioner Askew with Fernandina Beach City Commission for suggesting that idea. Okay. County manager's business.
Yes, sir.
So-
Two quick things. First is, with our joint meeting with the school board, if there are any topics, specific topics that you all would like to have on our agenda, make sure you let me know. I know the school board typically likes to give you an update, kind of a status of the school district. On occasion, we have things to talk about. Right now, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything specifically. We executed the conveyance of the school site off of 107. We executed the development order for the NCPA, which is the 5 school sites within the DSAP 2. And so a lot of the things that we've been working on the last couple of years have been closed out over the last 6 months or so. But if you all have something particular you want to talk about it, get with me, Amy, or Katie, and we'll make sure it's on the agenda. The other is, I just want to point out that the Mower Max Boom mower was just approved on the consent item. I know that's a big deal for a couple of you. I know Commissioner Gray, you know, he's been in my ear about that one for a minute, so we got it done.
Yep. So now we'll have 3
That's
total.
right. Yes, sir.
And County manager, feel free during my year as chair, that if something on the consent agenda deserves comment, you know, to the general public, you feel free to do that.
Yes, sir.
Any other business?
No, sir, that is all. Thank you.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
This may be for you and the county attorney. A lot of offices in the county are closing tomorrow. So, we're not closing, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. So I guess for the county attorney, the code enforcement board meets tomorrow night. Is there anything on that agenda that is so pressing to have other offices that are closing, specifically the clerk's office?
I don't believe, I did tell the clerks this morning, or this evening when I spoke with them, that we would keep an eye on the weather. It is supposed to be passed long before their meeting is starting. However, should there need to be a last-minute closing, we can do that for the public health, safety, welfare without implication. We would contact, obviously, the code enforcement case. I think there's one.
There's actually 2 cases. There's a status hearing and a violation case.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for how that weather is transpiring over the day. I've been in touch with county manager and assistant county manager who are keeping me abreast of how that's playing out with Director Tim Cooper, who's letting us know. So if the need arises, we will do that in plenty of time to contact all the board members and tell them not to get on Friday.
Okay, and my concern is for staff, because the school system is closing too.
Yes.
You know, so as soon as you can do that, it'd be appreciated.
We absolutely will. Thank you.
I said, the kids are not going to school. Some of us will still be there. Don't.
Working.
Okay, all right, well, just if we can. So county attorney, do you have any other business?
I have no further business. Thank you, sir.
All right. County commissioners, let's start with Commissioner McCullough.
I thought you were going to spice things up and let me go at the end or something.
Would you like to go?
I'm just kidding, Mr. Martin. I actually don't have a lot this evening, Mr. Martin. I was going to say, great first meeting. It's good to be back together. We've got a lot of things on the agenda for 2024. Ms. Mitchell brought forth a great presentation. It's back to that workforce. I could literally tell parents all day long, make your kids go to work. That is my closing statement for tonight is get them up off the telephone, off their PlayStation games, and go to flipping work. And get those kids working so we have a good, thriving economy in Nassau County.
Well, that was short and sweet.
That was short.
Commissioner Gray.
Yes, sir. Also, very efficient. Thank you for your first meeting, Mr. Chairman. Very efficient meeting. Congratulations, and looking forward to 2024 with you, sir. And I want to thank the Nassau County Economic Development Board and their staff for attending this meeting out there. It really means a lot. I said it once earlier, I say it again. You know, all y'all show up like that there, that really says a whole lot. On Tuesday, January 2nd, I enjoyed attending the Amelia Island Convention of Business Bureau's Amelia Island Restaurant Week. They had the menu unveiling event, and it was really nice. There's going to be some great lunches and dinners. Everybody go out and partake and enjoy. Take your spouse and your family out. And Mr. Gil Langley, he put on a really good unveiling event. It was very successful. Turnout was really good. There was a lot of media there and everything. So my wishes again to Mr. Langley and the Amelia Island Convention Business Bureau for another successful Restaurant Week event this year, 2024. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commissioner Farmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to start by giving everyone an announcement here that we lost one of our bailiffs from Nassau County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Asa Higgs. He had 15 years with the Nassau County Sheriff's Office and 31 years with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, 42 years of combined law enforcement, and he was also an Army National Guard veteran. Passed away over the weekend. I'd like to extend our sincere condolences to the Higgs family during their difficult time and offer up our prayers for their family. I'd also like to announce that the bicentennial celebration is also coming up this Saturday. I want to make sure and invite everyone out. It'll be a good time there at the Wildlife Commerce Center. Is that what they're calling it, Taco? Is that what the area for the bicentennial? What's the actual name for that area where we're going to do that? Do they have an area, common area? It's right behind the storefronts, correct?
It's right there. We're going to close the entire area at 200 and Wildlight Avenue. So you won't be able to miss it. It'll be front row on 200. They will make sure everyone knows that will be off-site parking and trams to get people to and from, because there won't be any parking in the immediate vicinity of the festival. But yes, sir, it is right there on front row.
Yeah, I'll be there bright and early because, I'm actually entering my chili in the chili cook-off competition. So, I got a friend of mine that he's real big into the chili thing, and he works for CSX as an IT guy. It's funny because, he said, "What do you want me to name the team?" I said, "I don't know, man. Name it Farmer Nation." Everything else I do. He said, "No, we want to do something better than that." He says, "Let's go with Loggerheads." And there's kind of an inside joke to why he called it the Loggerheads. Of course, it's a big sea turtle, but we were playing golf one day, and these guys, we could hear them from a distance. They were old retirees, and you could hear them out in the distance. And he goes, "Hold up right there." He said, "Carl," he said, "let's let these two loggers hit." Because me and him are both big fellas, they just assumed that we were both loggers, and so that's kind of where the joke comes from. But nonetheless, we'll be out there having a good time. Come out and join us. I'd also like to thank Radiant's field staff. Today, I spent 2 hours walking a property with a resident that has a land issue. And I reached out to them and said, "Hey, look, I'm not sure if you're the right guy or not, but, I've got several cards here. I need to know, I need some direction. This resident needs some direction. Do you mind meeting me on site?" And so he met me on site, and I felt like we really made an impact with that individual, because now he has some direction and he knows where he needs to go. So it's nice to have a working relationship for the residents that we serve. And with that, that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chairman Huffman.
Thank you, sir. I got to attend the backpack event out at the Omni with the Clemson football team before the game weekend, and I'd like to think that my advice to them clearly was effective, as they won the game that day.
Are you sure it wasn't my advice?
I'm not sure. They were bigger than I imagined on television, I will tell you. Had a healthy crew of young men, and that whole franchise there, it was just hundreds of people, when you realize what it takes to make a team like that actually move. But for them to take time out of their schedule and be so generous and work that event, thank you, Mr. Langley, for including me in that. I love those kind of events and being part of that work. Two, in the consent items, the work begins on Goffinsville Boat Ramp. So happy to see that. Thank you, Mr. Companion. Thank you, Mr. Ironman and Mr. Pope for starting to work on that, because I know lots of folks out there in my district are excited to watch the improvements. So thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And before I forget it, and go into my comments, tab O, informational item only, Board of County Commissioners newsletter for November 2023. Well, as usual, everything's been said, so I'm just going to say ditto to Commissioner Farmer on the bicentennial event, ditto to Commissioner Gray on Restaurant Week and Mr. Langley's efforts there, and ditto to Vice Chairman Huffman on the backpack event with Clemson, and also the TDC and Gil's team. The only other thing I have is, you'll see it on our January 17th, 2024 meeting agenda, but I just want you to think about it before you see it. A gentleman with CareerSource came to me at, I forgot, I do have something else. At the award ceremony at the Northeast Florida Regional Council, and he is with CareerSource. And evidently in the past, there was a county commissioner on that board. And there no longer is a county commissioner on that board, and the other counties have a representative there. So if anyone is interested in being on that board, think about that at our January 17th meeting. And I almost forgot kudos, Mr. Ironman, you can refresh my memory, to us, the Northeast Florida Regional Council. The county had 2 awards, and the city had an award, and she's gone, is it Ms.
I
Coyle
was
gone?
looking for Holly.
So, Mr. Ironman, go ahead, and it was the tiny home project, and we get another award with Baker and Duval County on water management, right?
Yeah, so the one with Baker, essentially that one is Follow the Water. That's a University of Florida extension program. And so Dr. Clem was part of that program, really creating awareness about water. So as it works with resiliency, conservation, and those, it's good to see the path that it flows. And on the tiny homes, I will defer to the county managers. He's intimately familiar with that program.
Yes, you all won a Regional Board of Excellence for the tiny home program that you developed, the legislation that was created. I was not able to attend the awards event, but Ms. Coyle informed me that there was a lot of interest in the regulation that you all created, the program you created, and she's received several phone calls with other jurisdictions wanting to duplicate what we've done. And so, it's nice to be recognized for creating good legislation that has a potential positive impact.
And the city of Fernandina Beach got an award for Mayor Bradley Bean's Minute with the Mayor. I'm sure you've probably seen it on Facebook. And he took his phone out and he said, all right, 60 seconds on the clock. And then he gave his minute with the mayor to the crowd there at the award ceremony. It was good. So kudos to them on that. Hearing nothing, if there's nothing else, we are adjourned.